welcome to Week 13 of From the Pressbox, Stark County Edition on FridayNightOhio.com. I'm Chris Bevan from the Repository.
And I'm Sam Berkman from WHBC Radio.
We're going to talk about the regional finals, and for Stark County this week, that means one game. It's the game, and it's the game in Week 10, and now we get the bonus edition, McKinley and Massillon at Akron's InfoCision Stadium for a Division I regional title. Can't get any bigger than this.
No, I'll tell you what, it's only happened a couple times in the history of this great rivalry, and the first ball game, McKinley, well, they outplayed Massillon. I thought they beat them physically, got them by a couple of touchdowns. Now, is there a team that's playing better in Region 2, peaking at a better time than Canton McKinley? If there is, I don't know. But don't count the Tigers out. After they got through that game against Twinsburg, they'll have their head on and be ready to go.
Well, you talk about McKinley peaking. I mean, they might be peaking better than anybody in the state right now. They're clicking on all cylinders. They have all those athletes. You know, Coach Garcia at Glen Oak called them a dangerous team 2 weeks ago, and obviously he knows firsthand why. And the defense has really picked it up, and the thing that's impressed me is just that focus. They look nothing like that group we saw give up that lead at Hoover just a month ago. You wouldn't even know it's the same team.
Yeah, it's amazing to me, Chris, how they have bounced back. They could have quit. They give up that big lead. They could have packed it in. But guys have emerged like Angelo Powell, Kyle Ordzansky's making the right reads now. Instead of throwing it up for grabs, he's tucking and running. Bryce Wilder looks like he's got another burst in him. Farrakhan's running better. The line's playing better. Top to bottom, this team has improved so much that they may be, you know, at that number 8 seed, that number 6 and 4, maybe they could be the team that makes it all the way.
Well, and then on defense, you've got a guy like Juwan Snow, who already is an all-state caliber player, plays at that level. But, you know, the other day I thought he took it even up 3 or 4 more notches, just ripping the ball away for that one fumble, the big stop on a 4th down. You can see he doesn't want this to end, and you have a lot of seniors on defense that have that attitude.
Well, Juwan Snow is playing unbelievable. Stevie Miller looks like he is finally getting healthy now. He was out for 3 games earlier in the year. Eric Snow has come on. He wears number 37 now on the defensive line. My goodness, is this kid a player. They're playing well. Linebackers, the DBs, Ron Johnson has done a tremendous job getting this team focused and back on track for a possible state title.
You talk about Massillon, that first game, obviously McKinley had a lot more at stake as far as trying to get into the playoffs, trying to salvage its season. Massillon knew what was to come for it, that it was in the playoffs, but now equal footing. Both teams are playing for their season. And when you look at the Tigers, the guy that's really jumped out at me was Bo Grunder.
Oh.
He's been phenomenal both sides of the ball. The Hoover game a couple weeks ago, every catch was for a first down, and it came either on 3rd or 4th down, and then he was just all over the field on defense.
Well, the McKinley-Massillon game, he had 15 tackles. I think he had 10 more than that, the way he was bouncing all over the field. The Hoover game, the Tigers came out with a sense of urgency, with a sense of passion. I thought they out-hit North Canton that night. Now, they kind of sleptwalk a little bit through the Twinsburg game, but they needed the plays. They got the plays when they needed them. And Jeremy Geyer needed about 40 3/4 yards on that field goal. He got just enough to put the Tigers into the next round.
And I think that was a tough matchup for them. That's kind of one of those sandwich games. Even though it's the playoffs, you can't guarantee yourself that next week. But they knew that the Hoover game was personal for them the previous week. And then whoever they were going to see the next week, it was going to be a county team. It would be personal. They probably thought it would be McKinley. So I don't know if they're looking ahead at that point last week, but this week there'll be no looking ahead. Both these teams are going to come in locked in on each other, and it should be an incredible game. What are some of the things that you think could decide it?
I think the biggest key for me on both sides is this defense is who can get heat on the quarterback. We've seen at times both guys maybe not make the right decision, but I think now they're both doing that. You know, if somebody can break contain, I think Partridge is very dangerous in the open field, but so is Ordzansky. He'll stick in, the guy's a hockey player, he'll stick his nose in there with anybody. I think that's a big key. Offensively for both teams, establishing the run. I mean, right now, right off the bat, smack the guy across from you as hard as you can and go from there.
And you talk about that pass rush. I thought McKinley really brought it last week against Glen Oak, and that was a big key to that game. We'll be back next week to talk about it on From the Pressbox Stark County Edition. Let's see who's playing in the Division I state finals, McKinley or Massillon. For FridayNightOhio.com, I'm Chris Bevan.
I'm Sam Berkman.